This is called Living Without Fear in session 1 at the end of the book of Proverbs, Proverbs 31. It's headed The Capable Wife in the Good News translation, or Wife of Noble Character in the NIV. Personally, I think it should be called Wonder Woman or Superwoman. When you read it, it sounds like there is absolutely nothing that she can't do. But in verse 25 she says this: she can laugh at the days to come. Good News translation, she is not afraid of the future. In the world at present, there's a lot of fear of the future. Things like, will COVID stay with us for the rest of our days? What about the war in Ukraine? Is that going to make the whole world economy collapse? What if Putin follows through on his threat to use nuclear weapons? There's so much there. What's China up to? Why is our society becoming increasingly violent? What if? It's very easy to become anxious about the future. Is it possible to live and laugh at the days to come, or have no fear of the future? To start with, this is nothing new, because I remember my sister saying, is it fair to bring children into the world when the future is not looking good? Well, her oldest daughter is now 50. So it's something I think that every generation faces. What if? What is the future going to be? When storms come, we're fearful. We don't have to be. So I'm going to look at two stories in the Bible. The first one is in Matthew 8:23. And it's the story where Jesus said, come on, we're going across to the other side. And they all got in the boat. Jesus fell asleep. Disciples were rowing and they ran into a horrific storm. And they thought they were going to drown. And so they woke Jesus and said, don't you fear, we're going to drown. And he just stood up and told the storm to stop. And that's when they got afraid. Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him. They'd seen the power of God ensuring their safe arrival at the other side. Then in chapter 24, verse 22, we have a story where Jesus has just fed 5,000 people, and it's late in the day now. And he said to the disciples, now you go ahead of me over to the other side. I'm going up the hill to pray. And so they set off in the boat. But again, they hit a storm and they were afraid. This time, Jesus came walking to them on the water, and that scared them even more. But he stopped the storm. Now, in the first story, Jesus was with them in the boat, and they saw how he had the power to stop the storm. In the second story, he wasn't with them, but he told them, go ahead to the other side, go ahead of me, I'll meet you there. They should have realised that they would get to the other side, but they let fear of the immediate surroundings overcome their faith in God. He did come to them because he'd been watching them, but they should have learned that they would come through the storm because of previous experience showing them the power of God. We learn through our experience, we experience the goodness of God, and so we grow in faith. And when we grow in faith and the knowledge of who God is, that enables us to go through storms, to trust that he will bring us through. And this is when we can laugh at the days to come and not fear what lies ahead.
Fear not, for I am with you. Fear not, for I am with you. Fear not.